Seahawks general manager John Schneider is diving back into familiar old waters as he has been very active around this trade deadline, and he finally pulled the trigger on a deal today, sending a 4th and 5th round pick to the New Orleans Saints to go get speedster Rashid Shaheed. This guy is absolutely as fast as they come at the wide receiver position, and he's being brought for a very specific purpose. Now, on the surface of this does look like a little bit of a pricey rental, a 4th and 5th round pick for a guy that's only going to be on a half year left of his contract and then is going to leave in free agency. But we are already hearing from Corbin Smith here, Seahawks reporter, that it does look like the Seahawks have some intention in trying to sign Rashid Shaheed, so he may last here a little bit longer than that. We'll see on that. I also think that this doesn't make this a typical trade deadline deal in the respect of what you have in Shaheed is a guy that actually has familiarity to the team that he's coming to. You tend to make a trade deadline deal, be it on offense or defense, and that guy's got to kind of learn the scheme on the fly, and thus you're going to get a little bit less production from him because of that. In Shaheed, you have a guy that literally played in the Klint Kubiak offense last year, and not only did he play in this offense, he played well. Rashid was off to his best start of his career before injuries cut the season short, but he was averaging his deepest depth of target. This is already a guy known for being the burner, already known for being a guy to take the top off the defense, but he was averaging his deepest depth of target when he was under the Klint Kubiak scheme last year. And this is part of, I think, that purpose that they really want to drive him into to take advantage of, because the Seattle Seahawks have dealt with more stacked boxes than anybody else in the NFL. And while they have done a really great job of taking the top off the defense, of hitting those chunk plays down the field, you can still get better. You can still, hey, if they're going to be this extreme, and I mean number one in the NFL in the stack box rate, they're going to be that extreme with it. Why don't we get one more burner, just all the much more better, be able to just make them be punished when they're going to try to take this approach? Because this is the way, the front way that you would tend to try to take this apart a little bit. So it makes sense in the respect of Seattle understanding that, hey, we can really still continue to take advantage of this. The compensation's a little bit much, but it's not overboard. And again, you get a guy that's going to be able to hit the ground running here, and be able to know this offense, the ins and outs, the terminology, the adjustments, and just go. I think we also have to acknowledge a little bit here that the Seahawks are looking for some insurance here. As you got Cooper Kupp with the heel injury, you don't know the severity of that. Tariq Young with the injury that he's working through, don't really know the severity of that. Even Jake Bobo has been beat up a little bit. So a little bit of a reason, to understandable reason, if just even from an insurance standpoint, to need to go out there and get some more receiving help, as you're going to get a little bit more thinner there if you were to get another injury or two down the line on this, especially if some of those other guys can't come back. So this move to me makes a lot of sense. Even if it just becomes a pure rental, I think this team has done more than enough to show you that this is the type of season that you feel pretty good about trying to go in, not all in necessarily, but in pretty heartily to try to see if you can even add more to the team at the trade deadline. When you look through NFL history and recent NFL history at that, there's a lot of teams that have gone down the stretch and been able to make a lot of playoff noise, a lot of it off the back of making a very aggressive move at the trade deadline. Not just standing pat, being conservative, but aggressiveness in the NFL is oftentimes rewarded. Just look at the Rams a couple of years ago when they gave up a 2nd and 3rd round pick for Von Miller, which likewise was only going to be a half-season rental. And maybe at that time, Von Miller's a little bit better player, but that's also why they had to pay more compensation to get him versus Shaheed. But that move paid off for them, got themselves to a Super Bowl. He helped that pass rush. We'll see if we can get a little bit of an equivalency here with Rashid Shaheed. A great move by John. Now let's see if the Seahawks are done or if they're going to keep dialing it up, because we still got some more time here before the trade deadline ends.